Hello, this is Tony from Kate's Crafty Closet, and today we're going to be making this clean and simple watercolor card using a stamp set from Ink on 3. So the stamp set that we're going to be using today is called Water Lily, and it's also coordinating dies to go along with this stamp set. And all products that I'll be using today will be linked in the description below, as well as over on the blog. So make sure you check out katescraftycloset.com, and also please hit the subscribe button and like this video if you like it, and also don't forget to hit the notification bell so anytime I upload a video you'll be notified it's ready for you to come watch. So the first thing I went ahead and did is I cut a standard A2 size card, top folding card, using some 100-pound pink cardstock from Recollections. This was the darkest color in the multi-pack, so I did that. And after that, I went ahead and used my Vagabond and used this die from My Favorite Things. It's the stitched rectangle die. It's the largest one. And so I went ahead and did that with some distressed watercolor paper, since we'll be watercoloring today. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the paper in the die aside because we don't need that anymore because we've already used it. I then went ahead and took some copy paper, just some regular copy paper, whatever you have on hand is great, and I just ripped it because I want to get like an organic look to it all. So I'm just going to kind of place this on my cardstock how I want it to look. And since we're watercoloring, we're going to go ahead and use VersaFine black Onyx ink as well, and then we're going to use the lotus flower from the Water Lily stamp set, and we're just going to go ahead and ink it up. Do my best not to get too noisy for you all. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it out 3 times and try to hold that copy paper in place. And like, if I don't stamp perfectly, I'm okay because it's watercolor, and I really am kind of going for a little bit more of an organic look. So, and I'm okay with if I go off the side of the paper as well too, because then we get definitely more of an organic look. So there we go. We got the little flowers nice and stamped, so we're done with our little paper. And today we're going to wind up using some Altenew watercolors. This set right here, which I actually love these watercolors. They're very vibrant and the color palette is really nice. We're going to go ahead and use 2 shades of the pink today, and they're called Puffy Heart and Pink Diamonds. So I'm going to have this off to the side. This is kind of what the palette looks like. And then my little swatches, but that's kind of what your palette's going to look like. You probably won't be able to see it in the camera, but it's here on the side here. And I'm just going to go ahead and get that ready. And I'm going to use the watercolor brush that came with the set from Altenew. And I'm just going to drop water in both of the pinks in order to get them started. And then I'm going to pick up some of the lighter pink, which is the Pink Diamond, and I am just going to scribble some over here on my Tim Holtz mat and squeeze out a little bit of water and mix it. I like to mix it to the side as opposed to direct to paper because it get a little bit saturated in one area, and that's not the look you're going for. Then this is the best way to do it, is off to the side. So I'm just going to go ahead in with the lighter pink, and I'm just going to randomly color. Like I said, you don't have to stay into the lines with watercoloring. Don't be afraid to leave a little bit of white space as well either. But if you want to stay within the lines, you most certainly can. Or you can heat emboss and watercolor with this. But today, this is kind of the look I wanted to go with. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and do all 3 of the lotus flowers and the lighter shade of pink, and then we're going to come back with the darker color and do a little bit of a gradation ombre effect over the lotus flowers. Like I want to go from light to dark on these flowers just for the ombre effect, you know. Like no reason why, just kind of what I wanted to do today. And watercoloring is something I really enjoy because it is just so forgiving. And like I said, I'm not concerned about going outside the lines, and but hopefully, you learn something today. And just, if you never tried watercoloring, break them out. It's like they're so much fun and easy to do. So we're just going to continue almost done with this one. And like I said, if you One thing about watercolor, it's very forgiving. You can always go back and touch up the areas that you may not be 100% happy with. And I guess that's why I like watercoloring so much. So next we're going to go in with the darker pink, which is the Puffy Heart. Same thing, I'm going to push them off to the side and mix it up and add a little bit of water. That's what I love about this Tim Holtz Onyx Studios glass mat, and that I can do that stuff. So we want the gradient effect. So the first one I'm just going to leave that light pink. The second one I'm going to put one coat of the darker pink, and on the third one I'm going to do 2 coats of the darker pink in order to have a gradation from light to dark. And it's like, if you need to add more water, please don't feel free to do that, because that was a little bit darker than I anticipated, like way darker than I had anticipated, because I didn't add enough water to it. So might have that gradient effect, may not work as much as I had hoped, because it's a little bit darker than I want, but that's okay. We'll work with it, right? We'll work with it. We'll just wind up having to make the third one just a little bit darker than the second one, which, no, that's not a problem. We can do that. And I guess that's the second coat. This is the second coat I'm putting on now. And like I said, just randomly coloring this in. Then I can go in with some more and water and lighten this up, pull some of that color out of that section that I was not 100% happy with, but we'll make it work. And just drag it out. Like, we're just gonna have one little area at the top that's a little bit darker. We'll just say that's the light source, right? That sounds good to me. So there we have that. I'm going to clean off the brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this light yellow and put that on the center of our flowers. It's like, you can choose whatever color that you like, but I'm just gonna go with the yellow for today. Because remember, this is your painting, your work. You can, use your creative juices and just have fun with it. It's like, that's one thing about I figure out with watercolor. There's really no mistakes in watercolor. There really isn't. All right, and then I'm going to grab some of the darker yellow and just highlight that center area. It's not really going to make a difference, but just for that. So we're kind of done with our watercolor for now, and we're going to go ahead and just clean off our brush and continue on, because we're going to add some liquid pixie dust. If you ever have tried this liquid pixie dust from Ink on 3, I highly recommend it, and I highly recommend you getting more than one, because it usually sells out rather quickly. If you see it, grab 2. You will not regret it at all. So I'm just going to take some and squeeze it to the side. Like, you can mix this with your watercolor, but today I'm just going to put it on top of it. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it to dilute it, because it is a very, very strong glitter effect. And I'm just going to go ahead and add, I know you probably can see this on camera, because it's really, really, really glittery. It's like, it's really, and it's gorgeous. I just absolutely love this, pixie dust. It is like, I call it liquid gold. It was a game changer when Florette put this out. So I'm like, yeah, gotta have, always have. I have like, about 4 bottles of this stuff, mainly because I love it and I use it a lot, but I have a tendency to misplace it. So I know that somewhere I'm going to find my my liquid pixie dust. So, and like I said, I'm just randomly putting it on here. You can put it however you want to put it. It doesn't necessarily really matter. Okay, so that is pretty much all of the liquid pixie dust I'm going to put on there. And next we're going to go ahead and stamp out the sentiment, the thinking of you sentiment. So let me pull out my stamp apparatus, and I'm going to place this in the corner. I already have my magnet. I already have my sentiment where I want it at on the card, and I'm just going to ink it up. And because this is watercolor paper, we may have to stamp this more than once, which is why I'm using a stamping tool. And I'm going to do that, and so we're good with the first try. I like that, so that's awesome. So we can go ahead and pull that out, and there we have that. Let me close my ink pad up, and then make sure I don't have any ink on my fingers, because I have a tendency to put scuff marks on my card. So we look like we're pretty good now, because we did have some on there. And next I'm going to go ahead and put on some of these pink adhesive pearls. I like to do things in odd numbers, so I'm going to do 3. I'm not going to press them all the way down until I'm sure that's the placement that I want them to be. And once I say, okay, I'm just going to press them down into the paper. And this one kind of wants to stick to my finger, which that's okay. We'll get you off. All right, so move that one. All right, I'm good. So I'm just going to press them into place. And next thing I'm going to do is just add some foam adhesive to the back of this, right, like that. And then we're just going to put it onto the card base. And there we have our card for today. So I thank you for joining me. And remember, don't forget to hit the notification bell and subscribe and like this video, and go over to CaseCraftyCloset.com, and we have a Facebook group as well, so if you care to join us, everybody shares their product ideas and their projects, so go ahead, that'd be great. So y'all have a crafty day, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a crafty day, y'all. Bye.